Upon hearing that the prominent general dispatched by Dong Zhuo had been slain by the relatively unknown Guan Yu, Lu Bu became furious. He led 30,000 troops to set up camp in front of Hula Pass. Riding atop the red hare, he shot an arrow towards a distant mountain peak. The arrow pierced straight into the heart of the coalition army's main camp. This was Lu Bu's challenge. Those participating in the campaign against Dong Zhuo couldn't help but shiver with fear. The 18 vassals fled one after another, leaving only 8 routes overnight. It was rumored that Lu Bu alone could slay thousands of soldiers. Just as everyone was trembling with fear, Guan Yu stepped forward. He feared nothing because he had already mastered the secret to Lu Bu's invincibility. In the late Eastern Han Dynasty, the political situation was chaotic, with struggles between eunuchs and influential families intensifying. Zhang Jiao organized the Yellow Turban Army and rose in rebellion against the government. They advanced unstoppably. Dong Zhuo was ordered to suppress them. Mounted on his warhorse, he cut through the enemy ranks, taking down dozens of Yellow Turban soldiers with each strike. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Zhang Jiao quickly performed a ritual. Suddenly, the weather changed dramatically. Several white mists surged into the bodies of the exhausted Yellow Turban soldiers on the battlefield. These previously weak soldiers were revitalized, firmly controlling Dong Zhuo. In this critical moment, 3 young men rode into the battlefield. They were Liu Bei, Guan Yu, and Zhang Fei, the 3 sworn brothers. Guan Yu effortlessly sent hundreds of Yellow Turban soldiers flying with a swing of his great sword, leaving a trail of dead bodies in his wake. With every move Zhang Fei made, the earth trembled, while Liu Bei, taking advantage of their entry into the battlefield, shot an arrow towards the high platform. It struck Zhang Jiao's chest squarely. Then, he engaged Zhang Jiao in combat. After a few moves, he firmly restrained Zhang Jiao. He leaped forward and stabbed at Zhang Jiao's back, before kicking him off the high platform. Guan Yu pursued the advantage, kicking Zhang Jiao away. Seeing this incredible display, Dong Zhuo was dumbfounded and immediately signaled for his subordinates to inquire about their backgrounds. Upon learning that the 3 men were mere commoners with no official positions, Dong Zhuo disdainfully turned away. The trio had risked their lives hoping for recognition, only to be treated coldly by Dong Zhuo. After the disastrous defeat of Zhang Jiao, Dong Zhuo led the forces of the Western Liang to seize the young emperor and planned to replace him with someone more obedient, effectively making himself the ruler behind the scenes. The ministers immediately saw through Dong Zhuo's intentions of using a puppet emperor to consolidate his power and began openly berating him. Upon hearing this, Dong Zhuo immediately ordered his men to drag the offender out and behead him. The other ministers, fearing for their lives, could only watch helplessly as Dong Zhuo marched forward and forcibly removed the emperor's crown. Later, the ministers gathered together, weeping bitterly and condemning Dong Zhuo for insulting the Son of Heaven. This action amused Chao, who mocked the cowardice of the ministers present. He even overturned the table, swearing to personally kill Dong Zhuo. However, before he could finish speaking, the elder statesman expelled him from the banquet. Yet, the elder statesman later instructed his servants to accommodate Chao in a side room and personally apologized to him after the banquet dispersed. It turned out that the elder statesman greatly admired Chao's courage. However, due to the crowded gathering, fearing that Chao's plan might be exposed, he had him expelled. To assist Chao presented him with the incredibly sharp 7-star treasure knife, advising him to seize the opportunity to take Dong Zhuo's life when he least expected it. The next day, Chao entered the palace to meet Dong Zhuo and lavishly praised him, declaring him a wise ruler whose reign would bring stability to the realm. Dong Zhuo was delighted by these words and immediately ordered Lu Bu to pick out a fine horse for Chao. The 2 of them then engaged in jovial conversation, and Dong Zhuo drank himself into a stupor, falling asleep on his couch. Seeing this, Chao realized that the time to strike had come. He drew the 7-star treasure knife, but before he could make a move, Dong Zhuo suddenly awoke, startling Chao, who quickly knelt down and offered up the knife. Chao explained that the 7-star treasure knife was a rare treasure in the world, which he had brought as a gift for Dong Zhuo. Without much thought, Dong Zhuo took the knife and used it to shatter the bronze mirror behind him to test its sharpness. Just then, Lu Bu arrived to report that the horse was ready. Feeling uneasy, Chao made a hasty escape. Dong Zhuo, still boasting about his new treasure, was unaware of Chao's true intentions until Lu Bu revealed the truth. Dong Zhuo immediately realized the situation and ordered Lu Bu to pursue Chao. As Lu Bu mounted Red Hare and set off in pursuit, several archers launched an attack on Chao, but he retaliated by knocking over a brazier and swiftly fleeing across rooftops towards the forest. Seeing that Lu Bu couldn't catch up, he swung his Fangtian Huaji, causing lightning to flash and the earth to shake. Chao plummeted down a cliff, and Lu Bu, assuming him dead, returned satisfied to report his success. However, Chao was fortunate enough to be rescued by a couple after being washed ashore by the water flow. Dong Zhuo, not believing that Chao was dead, issued a citywide reward, determined to see Chao's body. This move unexpectedly brought Chao fame. The couple, eager for money, promptly betrayed Chao, leading to his capture by the officials. One of these officials, seemingly loyal to Dong Zhuo but secretly supportive of Chao's assassination attempt, followed Chao to seek refuge at the home of Chao's father's brother. However, upon hearing the sound of sharpening knives outside while the official went out to buy wine, Chao suspected treachery and rushed out to slaughter the entire family, only realizing later that they were preparing a feast with the slaughtered pigs. Realizing his mistake, Chao left the place in shame. However, on the way, he unexpectedly encountered the homeowner returning with the wine. Fearful of potential repercussions, Chao swiftly ended his life with a single stroke. The official, filled with remorse, offered to help bury the bodies of the family, but Chao, feeling indifferent, deemed their deaths meaningless gestures, leaving the official shuddering in fear as they parted ways. Afterward, Chao sold all his belongings, recruited soldiers, and formed his own army. Upon hearing that Yuan was gathering the vassals to overthrow Dong Zhuo at Sisui Pass, he marched his troops without hesitation. Meanwhile, the three disheartened brothers, upon hearing the news, also intended to join Yuan. However, they got lost in the woods and stumbled upon a seemingly mystical place where they lost consciousness. When they woke up, they found 3 unique weapons by their side, plunging them into contemplation. Recalling their recent memories, they remembered encountering a mysterious woman who claimed to be the castle lord. She introduced them to their current location, known to skilled warriors as the Forge Castle. Every person who arrived here was destined to become a hero, capable of obtaining extraordinary weapons crafted from millennia-old bloodstone. The more enemies they killed, the stronger their weapons would become. Lu Bu possessed the extraordinary strength to slay thousands of soldiers and horses because he obtained a divine weapon from the castle lord. Chao's courage to recruit soldiers and join the war also stemmed from acquiring a divine weapon here. With renewed determination, they swore to restore the Han dynasty. They hurried to the heroes' platform to meet Yuan and were mocked by the soldiers guarding the entrance. Liu Bei tried to show his hero's token, but the guards accused him of stealing it. Zhang Fei was enraged and wanted to teach them a lesson, but Chao arrived just in time to resolve the situation, insisting that they be allowed to pass with the hero's token. The soldiers, seeing Chao's authority, quickly paid their respects. The 3 brothers admired Chao's majestic appearance on horseback and silently vowed to become heroes like him someday. Upon entering the hall, the people elected Yuan as their leader, and they decided to form an alliance. However, they initially refused to let the 3 brothers join, which angered Zhang Fei. Seeing the 3 brothers boldly proclaiming their intent to restore the Han dynasty without any soldiers or horses, many ridiculed them. However, Chao believed in their loyalty and bravery, considering them true heroes. This persuaded Yuan, who asked Liu Bei if he had a strategic plan. Liu Bei calmly told everyone that to defeat Dong Zhuo, they must first rescue the emperor. Without the emperor as a hostage, Dong Zhuo's power would crumble. Dong Zhuo and Lu Bu had already led 150,000 troops to Hulao Pass. To rescue the emperor, they had to attack Luoyang, which required passing through Hulao Pass. Yuan was convinced by Liu Bei's strategy and allowed the 3 brothers to join the alliance. They also adopted Liu Bei's plan. Sun from Jiangdong volunteered to be the vanguard and challenged Dong Zhuo's army at Sisui Pass. Sun quickly broke through 3 defense lines. Dong Zhuo planned to send Lu Bu to confront Sun directly. However, Hua, known as the fiercest general from the west, volunteered to fight instead. He quickly defeated Sun, catching him off guard. The news of Sun's defeat angered the coalition forces. Another general volunteered to fight, but after a few moves, he was stabbed through the heart by Hua and died on the spot. Hua's ferocity intimidated the other vassals, making them hesitant to fight. Liu Bei proposed sending Guan Yu to fight Hua to the death. Knowing the danger ahead, Chao prepared wine to bid him farewell. However, Guan Yu said he would drink it upon his return. Armed with his divine weapon, Guan Yu rode to the battlefield. He engaged Hua in combat, displaying versatile and fearsome techniques that unnerved Hua. However, Guan Yu was just warming up. He exerted himself and eventually beheaded Hua with a powerful swing of his great sword. With Hua dead, his soldiers fled in disarray, leaving the battlefield empty. When Guan Yu returned to the camp, Chao's wine was still warm. Guan Yu's fame soared after this battle, and Yuan rewarded their bravery and strategy. The coalition forces then united to break through Sisui Pass. When news reached Dongjua, he flew into a rage and dispatched Lu Bu to guard Hulao Pass. Hearing they would face Lu Bu in battle, many vassals fled in fear, losing a significant portion of their forces. Dongjua hastened the capital's relocation to Chang'an, making it easier to deploy troops from the west. He vowed to annihilate the alliance, leaving both sides no room for retreat. As tensions escalated, the eager Lu Bu went to the mountains to drink and relax but stumbled upon a woman by a lake attempting suicide. Seeing this, Lu Bu rushed forward to stop her. After a conversation, Lu Bu learned that the woman's name was Chan. She wanted to end her life because her stepfather arranged a marriage against her will. Seeing Chan's captivating beauty, Lu Bu took out his token and promised her that if anyone dared to force her, she should show them the token to indicate she belonged to Lu Bu. He also pledged to return and marry her after achieving great victory. However, Chan remained skeptical. Lu Bu then stabbed his own arm as a pledge of his sincerity, finally gaining Chan's trust. Little did he know, Lu Bu had fallen into a trap set by a seductive woman. The Battle of Hulao Pass began swiftly. Liu Bei led Guan Yu and Zhang Fei to confront Lu Bu, while Chao led the coalition forces to attack Luoyang from 5 different directions. As the 3 brothers arrived at Hulao Pass, Lu Bu approached calmly from behind. Upon seeing them, Lu Bu's expression turned fierce. His divine weapon lived up to its reputation, instantly scattering thousands of soldiers with a single strike. Then, he leaped into the air, effortlessly dispatching the surrounding troops. Mounting his horse, he met the 3 brothers who had been waiting for him. Upon seeing Guan Yu's calm demeanor and imposing presence, Lu Bu realized he was the one who had slain Hua. Guan Yu declared that he would be the next. Upon hearing this, Lu Bu became excited and leaped up, wielding his divine weapon to engage in battle with the 3 brothers. As they clashed, raging flames erupted around them. Lu Bu took advantage of the situation and positioned himself below a waterfall, vigorously swinging his weapon. Meanwhile, the 3 brothers launched a coordinated assault on Lu Bu, with Guan Yu unleashing the full power of his divine weapon. They managed to force Lu Bu off his horse, leaving him no choice but to evade their relentless attacks. Liu Bei and Zhang Fei seized the opportunity to launch a surprise attack, giving Lu Bu no chance to catch his breath. However, Lu Bu, experienced in battle, seized an opportunity to unleash a devastating move, causing thunder and lightning to roar and the earth to shake. With a mighty leap, Lu Bu sent the 3 brothers flying. At this point, all 3 brothers were heavily injured, and if the battle continued, they would surely lose to Lu Bu. At this critical moment, Liu Bei remembered what the castle master had said: their divine weapons were forged from bloodstone, and the more blood they absorbed, the stronger they became. With this in mind, Liu Bei devised a plan. If they fed their own blood to their divine weapons, would their combat strength double? Upon hearing this idea, they found it reasonable and began to nourish their weapons with their own blood. Suddenly, their divine weapons emitted dazzling light. With renewed vigor, the 3 brothers advanced together to confront Lu Bu. The power of their collisions was so intense that it caused the valley to collapse instantly. On the other side, Chan, adorned in bridal attire, was to marry Dongjua. It turned out to be the plan of the chief minister, who first arranged for Chan to be engaged to Lu Bu in secret, then married her off to Dongjua, intending to create discord between the two. Meanwhile, as Chao breached Hulao Pass and pressed toward Luoyang, Dongjua's attendants quickly sent up a smoke signal to notify Lu Bu to protect Dongjua. However, Lu Bu was still engaged in battle with the 3 brothers in the valley, both sides exhausted. Upon seeing the signal, Lu Bu hastily mounted his horse and rode toward Luoyang, vowing that it wasn't over yet. Subsequently, Dongjua fled with his new bride Chan, turning Luoyang into an empty city. According to Yuan's previous statement, the one who entered Luoyang first would become the Grand Commander. Sun remembered this and entered Luoyang ahead of Chao, obtaining the Imperial Seal. Upon learning of this, Chao remained calm and smiled. His sole focus was on supporting the Han dynasty. Whether or not he became the Grand Commander was of little concern to him. Thus, he allowed Sun to do as he pleased, as he had long realized that although the coalition forces had a common goal, each harbored their own ambitions, leading to divided loyalties. The Han dynasty had reached its current state precisely because of this disunity. Hence, Chao believed it was better to fight alone than to ally with such unreliable partners. He led his troops to pursue Dongjua and rescue the emperor, as the fate of the Han dynasty depended on the emperor's safety. Time passed, and several years went by. Liu Bei had formed his own army, and Chao admired the courage and determination of the three brothers. He came to recruit them into his own ranks. However, Chao's ambition was to conquer the land, while Liu Bei was solely focused on assisting the Han dynasty. Recognizing their differing paths, Chao realized there was no point in further discussion and decided to part ways. It was because of this divergence that the era of the Three Kingdoms emerged, with each warlord vying for supremacy.